Could I ask you, Jamie, two things? One, to comment on New Zealand and whether it has been shown to be bullied too far, and secondly, the persecution of the Uyghurs and the damage this is doing to China's perception in the Muslim world. Is this part of her learning from the USSR, or has this another part of the China's strategy towards the world?
Lawrence, thanks for that question. I realised that I spoke too great a length. I apologise for that. So given the limited time available, I'll answer the questions very, very fast. Number one, New Zealand. Yes, it's worried about antagonising China because it's a small country, a lot of Chinese investment, and doesn't want to antagonise China more than it needs to. Yesterday, New Zealand refused to sign a Five Eyes declaration. You know, the Five Eyes, of course, intelligence sharing agreement, criticising China. New Zealand refused to sign. Its excuse was that the Five Eyes was all about intelligence sharing and shouldn't become a new kind of, G7 kind of forum, which would deal with political issues and issue declarations. But I think you're right, Lawrence. I think it's a sign that in New Zealand they take, unlike Australia, which has been, heavily bullied by China, particularly after Scott Morrison, the Prime Minister, suggested that the Chinese should open an investigation into the Uighurs. The Chinese overreacted, as they often do. They tend to use a sledgehammer to crack a nut by banning Chinese beef and wine sales. So Australia and China have sort of burnt their boats, but New Zealand is still trying to keep a good relationship with the Chinese. They also know that the Chinese are very heavily investing in the South Pacific Islands, where the New Zealanders also have responsibilities too. So it's an interesting case. The Uyghurs, I agree. And I said this, I think the Chinese see that the Soviet Union, like so many multinational empires, think of the Ottomans, were brought down, by their rebellious nationalities. They're determined to avoid that at all costs. They do worry about the Uyghurs and independence movements. That's why they're being so tough on Turkey to expatriate Uyghurs who are resident there. They also worry that the Western withdrawal from Afghanistan will lead to the return of Al-Qaeda and ISIS to Afghanistan, and that those movements will particularly support Uyghur terrorist movements, which will then become more of a threat to China. The Chinese would have been more than happy to see Western troops staying in Afghanistan forever to keep that alliance between ISIS and Al-Qaeda and Uyghur separatists at bay. So two quick answers there.